How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to my FIFA 17 Fulham career mode. This is episode 40, I want to say. Not 100% sure. Might be 41. Who knows? But what a game we have in store for us today. In today's episode, we'll be playing Aston Villa in the semi-finals of the FA Cup at Wembley. And then we've got another league game against somebody, I'm not quite sure who. In the previous episode, unfortunately, well, the previous two episodes actually, things haven't been going too great for us in the league, and we're starting to slip out of Europe. We've just started to drop down to about 5th place now, and our European slot is looking really under threat. If we can win the FA Cup, though, we won't be too fussed if we don't finish in that top 5. Hosbed is joint 5th top goal scorer. Well, the top 5 goal scorers have all scored 4 goals in the FA Cup. He's scored a goal in every round of the FA Cup so far. Let's hope he can continue that in today's video. Just before we do get in today's video though, guys, at the time of recording this video, it is currently the 17th of May 2017, which meant last night, unfortunately, Fulham got knocked out of the playoff semi-finals by Reading. I was very, very surprised that they were unable to beat Reading, but it certainly draws some attention to the format of the playoffs. Now, I don't want to start like rambling on and discussing it too much and sort of delaying the video, but I want to quickly talk about the structure of the playoffs. So if you want to skip forward about a minute or two to get into the gameplay, if you're not that interested, then feel free to do so. But the playoffs are, whilst I like the playoffs, I do think it's sort of unfair a little bit because, so Fulham, who finished I can't remember where the teams finished exactly. I should probably done a bit of research before I talk about it. This isn't like targeting this at Fulham and Reading particularly, but just based on how things went. And I think Reading actually ended up finishing above Fulham, did they not? So there you go. But you have a team that finishes 3rd, and let's say they get like 70 points. They've had a really good season. They've missed out by 1 point on 2nd place for automatic promotion. And then you have a team who finishes 6th, and they had a really bad season. They're about 20 points behind, but somehow they've scraped into 6th place. Then the lottery of a playoff can mean that team gets promoted, and the team who had a fantastic season doesn't. Now I can see both sort of pros and cons to it. Obviously, you could say that, oh well, if that team, they can't beat the team lower than them, they don't deserve to go up, which, okay, I can understand that, but it's also a little bit unfair on just they've had such a solid season and all of a sudden you're just going to kick them out and not let them get promoted, and you can have a team who scraped in, and then they've played like 3 super awesome games and they've ended up winning the playoffs and they've got promoted. But I think it's a little bit silly in my opinion. However, I wouldn't have any other way of doing it, or unless you just scrap the playoffs altogether and just have, let's say, top 3 get promoted, bottom 3 get relegated. It's very, very silly, and it's a very similar situation in the Scottish Premier League as well, and that's a whole other story which I'm not going to talk about right now. But commiserations to Fulham. It is a shame. I'm not a Fulham fan or anything, but obviously this series has sort of grown me into the club, and it's attracted a lot of Fulham fans that I now interact with you guys on here on YouTube. So it's a shame. It would have been nice just for the series that Fulham got promoted this season and they could have replicated a Premier League season like we are here, but it's just not to be this year. Fulham are, by the way, a very, very strong team, as are Reading. So any Reading fans here as well, congratulations, fully deserved in my opinion. And all the best to Fulham for next season, and all the best to Reading should they get themselves promoted into the Premier League. Let's hope they have a better season than they're having here. And just quickly, as I've been rambling for far too long now, we need to get on with a video. I just quickly want to mention, I think it's quite funny as well, it was Jan Kergamon who scored the penalty for Reading last night, if you missed it. And I remember a couple of seasons ago when Leicester got into the playoffs and they were about to, I think it was the, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they were it was the playoff finals against Cardiff. And they went to a penalty shootout, and Jan Kergamon decided to chip his penalty, and it was a super easy save for the goalkeeper, and Cardiff went on to win, and then that year got promoted. Of course, they didn't have the best of seasons, best of times in the Premier League, and Leicester ended up getting promoted eventually anyway, and of course going on. So you have to say, what Kergamon did, maybe it was a good thing for Leicester, who knows. And maybe it's a good thing for Reading that they've got through. It'll certainly be interesting. So anyway, that's enough of me rambling. We're going to go and jump into our FA Cup game, the semi-finals at Wembley against Aston Villa. Let's go. And so here we are then. We are live at Wembley Stadium for the FA Cup semi-final. Fulham versus Aston Villa. One team looking to book their place back at Wembley in the final. It's been a long while for Fulham since they've last got to Wembley. I don't recall the last time they were at Wembley. And as for Aston Villa, I do recall the last time they were at Wembley. Now, I don't know if I'm mistaken here, but I remember they played United in a League Cup final. Was it United? I don't even know. Like 2009, 2010, might not have even been United. And I believe that was held at Wembley. And I think United went on to win it. And now, from personal experience, from memory, that was the last time Aston Villa were at Wembley. So there you go. But Fulham, it's been a very, very long time. Of course, we had. Well, I say we. Fulham, the club, had super success in the Europa League a few seasons ago. Ended up getting to the final to that, losing it to Atletico. And since then, it went a little bit downhill for Fulham. You know, relegated out of the Premier League and struggled with life in the Championship. But we've brought them up. We're back in the Premier League and we're back at Wembley for an FA Cup semi-final. Super happy to have got this far. This is kind of like where I really wanted to get. Obviously, I'd love now to go on and win it, now that our European slot is under threat. However, a semi-final is going to be huge for the club, and I think huge for finances as well. We've skipped over the team lineups because, you know what, you can read them yourselves, I've kind of gathered, but and I just wanted to talk about that really quickly. But as you'll have noticed, our standard 11 for the FA Cup, because Bettinelli keeps his spot in goal, yet to concede a goal in the FA Cup, I think. I can't remember, he might have conceded one in the last round, but he's played the last 2 rounds against Hull, he's played 3 rounds. No, he's played 2, against Hull and against QPR, and I don't think he conceded a goal. Hozabed, who has scored in every round of the FA Cup thus far, can he score a goal at Wembley? He's been in great form, and this is what we're looking for today. Nothing short of a victory here for us. The only thing though, we played Villa a couple of weeks ago, in FIFA a couple of days ago on the channel, and they came out 1-0 winners on that occasion, but they were at home. It was a Premier League game. I was resting players, you know, a very different situation as today. This is a totally different occasion, and I am feeling a lot more confident about this game than the one we played earlier, and that first touch from Hozabed was terrible. Can't remember who it was that scored for Villa when they beat us. I remember we pretty much gave them the goal, but that's nice into Hozabed, and as he shoots that, Andres with a big save there. That's up to Aluko. Here is Hozabed. And Tom Kearney in the box. Oh, I don't know how he got that sort of shot away. There's an interesting effort by Kearney, but it almost actually just crept into that corner. It was like, I don't know. It didn't take a deflection or anything. It was a very weird shot. Got some weird curve on it, but also got a lot of height on it. Too much height. Just went over the bar. Still 0-0 here, going into half-time. We've probably had the better of the opportunities. I don't think Villa have really had an effort on goal. And that is half-time. So we go in then, the first half here of the semi-finals at Wembley. It's all square. No real efforts for Aston Villa. We've had 1 or 2 shots, but they just crept off target. So no real efforts from either side here, and we'll be looking for better in the second. At half-time then, it's Aston Villa 0, Fulham 0. As you can see by the half-time stats, Villa did actually have 1 shot and wasn't on target. We had 2. One of them was on target, I do recall that now. They were, of course, that shot was being saved. The other semi-final not being played today, I believe that'll probably be tomorrow. So we'll have to have a look at that when we advance forward after this game. But players looking a little bit tired as well. Of course, we've had quite a busy couple of weeks in terms of game times. There's been a lot of games going on, so might start to look at rotating a few players later on, particularly if this game goes on. What I don't want to do is make too many early substitutions and then not have anyone fresh for the extra time if necessary. So I think I'll probably restrict myself to about 2 substitutions this half, and then should we score maybe 1 or 2 goals, I'll make the third sub. If it looks like it's going extra time, we'll hold off. Hozabed knocks that down to Sobi. Sobi's looking a little bit tired. Probably going to be the first one to make way, to be honest. Although I don't want to take him off. But that's a nice ball, and Hozabed is there. He took it away from Aluko. I was controlling Aluko, and I think probably Aluko had the better opportunity there. For some reason, Hozabed just took that one himself. Don't quite know why he did that, but okay. Half an hour is about to pass. Veretout has come on for Pacino for Aston Villa. We'll make a change very shortly, just after half an hour ticks over. Here's Cabano Forward to Hozabed. Chip the ball through to Aluko. Amavi does very well there to win the ball. He had to time that clearance spot on. If he'd have missed it, Aluko would have been in. And Amavi could have risked taking him out as well. And certainly would have got sent off if he'd have committed a foul. That's kicked out of play then. So 22 minutes to go. We will now make that one change. I'm still going to consider who else I want to bring on, but at the minute I'm still not too sure. So we'll just play it safe. We'll go Aite for Sobi, and that should inject some pace down this left-hand side. We've got a throw in. Bunawal can squeeze that through to Aluko. Now, can Aluko get there? Can Aluko turn inside? He's beaten the man, and Bakuna came across very well. I should have committed to the diving Subotic and probably could have tried to win myself a penalty there, but I was able to avoid him, and Bakuna did very well to come across there. St. Graven's got to be careful. Aite's won it. Now then, is there a counter-attack on? We've got two men forward. Hozabed will give it up to Aluko, who might just have a little bit more pace here. It's Sonny Aluko for the final! Oh, big save. Andres got to be doing a little bit better than that. I wasn't too sure what to do there. That could have put us into the final, but great counter-attack. Villa have got to be very careful. Oh dear, that's a foul there, ref. Surely it is. And Marvy's been booked. Oh, it's all it's all kicking off there. Those players have been booked. They definitely want to be a little bit careful. Nathan Baker comes on for Bakuna. We'll take this opportunity to make a change. I think I'm going to bring Lansbury off, and I'm going to bring on Scott Parker, believe it or not. It's just nice for him to get a return to Wembley in an FA Cup semi, and he could fire us in front. So we'll make the change as well. Amavi didn't get a second yellow. Neither did Kearney for actually starting a fight there. Deliver the cross. Took your time, mate. I pressed cross way earlier than when he actually shot. He got a bit stuck between two players, I think, there. Come inside now. We've got players on. There's no space. There is space for Kearney. Kearney can whip that. No one's covering that space. Nathan Baker's got to deal with this. And he does get it away, indeed. So we're going to go to extra time. I think we're going to bring on... We are going to bring on Iheanacho. So into extra time we go. Although, you know, Hozabed's still looking very tired, but I think he's probably going to be the better player to actually grab us a winner here. So we'll bring on Iheanacho. We'll take Aluko off. He's had a few opportunities, Aluko, but nothing much to say. So now time for Iheanacho to do something for us here into extra time of the FA Cup. Cabano looking for the support. Great run by Odoi. Super helpful. This time he heads it down forward. Now then, nobody in the box really. Iheanacho wasn't making a run into the box for some reason. He was trying to hover on the edge. But we've won ourselves a corner. 2 minutes to go. Kenny with it. It's back St. Graven away. It's going to be another corner. I actually wanted to keep that on, but not to worry. We'll try again here from the corner. Kenny again. Good whip. Veretout is there. Iheanacho's going to win this. What's he going to do with it? He's going to play it out to Scott Parker from the edge of the box. I saw it. I saw FA Cup final Fulham lit up there as as Parker just fired that one wide. I really thought that had gone in for some reason. That would have been a dream for Parker, and that's exactly why I brought him on, because we know he can knock him in there. But half time here in extra time. Fulham 0, Villa 0. No more shots really for Villa. We jump into the second half. Will it be going to penalties? This is nice. Aite. Iheanacho. Hozabed on the turn. Hozabed! Hozabed! And Fulham are surely going to the FA Cup final. They're not our fans. Don't run over there. I don't know where our fans are. Just run. Oh, can we run to the substitutes? I don't know. We're not going to celebrate. Who cares? Because Hozabed, he's scored in every round of the FA Cup, obviously, that we've been involved in. So since the third round, he scored in the third round against Cardiff. He scored in the fourth round replay against Hull. He scored in the fifth round against QPR. I've forgotten someone. There's someone else in there, I think, because this is the sixth round was the quarter final. I don't even know anymore. I am blown away. It's his fifth goal. Yeah, so he scored in 5 rounds. So there was the third round against Cardiff. There was the fourth round replay against Hull, was it? No, it was a fifth round replay against Hull. So who did we play after Cardiff? I actually don't know. But do you know what? Who cares? Because that should be that. And we should be in to the finals of the FA Cup. I'll go back and take a look, because it's going to annoy me if I can't remember who it was. Game. So Ragnar Sigurdsson there, picking up a yellow. Just 1 more minute to go. It's a dangerous free kick. We've conceded from set pieces quite a few times, but... Oh, and Nathan Baker... I think it was Nathan Baker. Really should have done a lot better there. Bettinelli comes over to punch it clear. The keeper is up. Andres is up. Can we count? Oh, they've played it short. Why have they played it short to Nathan Baker? I will have never an idea. The keeper's stayed up. He's actually now tracked back. Odoi intercepted. Aite's just boot this one. No time to boot it. Referee blows his whistle. We are through to the FA Cup final. Whew. It took us to get there into extra time, but it was that man again, Hozebed, who has scored every round of the FA Cup that we've competed in since the third into the semis. He'll be getting a start at the end of May against Man United or West Ham here back at Wembley. But our first time return for Fulham in a long time back at Wembley, and it's come out with a 109th minute winner from Hozebed. And it's full time. Fulham 1, Aston Villa 0. Wow. What a game that was. As you can see, the other game not being played yet. We'll advance forward and then we'll take a look at who we're playing in the final. Man United or West Ham, of course. And then we'll play our next Premier League game. This episode will probably be quite a long one, but we'll definitely have plenty of highlights of the FA Cup game. I'll probably cut it down a little bit for the Arsenal game, depending on how exciting that is. But obviously, I know we really need to win that. All the players are going to be knackered. But do you know what? It's worth it for an FA Cup final. If we'd have lost, it would have been a little bit more upsetting. But fortunately, we didn't, and we were victors there. So happy days for us as Rossi levels up, which is always super nice. We'll advance forward one more day, and I think that should mean that the draw has been made. We should have some prize money for that. We do. That's another 1.1 million. That's actually really nice for us. And obviously, we don't really get to spend it because it's sort of, I don't think it doesn't like roll over into like the it doesn't sort of roll over into next season. So we've actually now got quite a little bit of money, which is always nice. We can sort of play around with that a little bit, so that's super handy. Let's jump to season tables, go across to the FA Cup. So no teams actually played there, and West Ham beat Manchester United by 2-1. So it was Hull in the round of 16, followed by QPR. Was there somebody between Cardiff and Hull, or have I just gotten myself mistaken? There was Hull in the replay. It was Cardiff. Did we beat Arsenal in the FA Cup? Okay, I completely forgot about that. We went 3-0 up really quickly, if I recall. Was that the game that Sanchez got sent off in? No, that wasn't the game Sanchez got. In fact, it might have been. Do you know what? I just have no idea anymore. Well, it can't have been because we haven't played Arsenal since. So that wasn't the game that Sanchez got sent off in. But we went 3-0 up. I do actually remember now. We went 3-0 up. They pulled one back late in the second half, I think it was. So, but Hozebed did, of course, score. Speaking of Arsenal, let's play them again, though. This is a completely different game, though, because they are second in the Premier League and we are fifth, fighting for Europe. As you can see, the team is tired, but it was fully worth it. I'm going to go and rotate a couple of the players, and I'll see you at the start of the game. So then, back to the Premier League action, and just a short trip back from Wembley, really, where we are back home at Craven Cottage. We are against another London rival team, of course, Arsenal, but this is more than just about the London rival now. This is more about top 4 or top 5, really. As you can see, Arsenal there in second. They are actually only 3 points ahead of us in second, and we're down in 5th. So, if we actually win today, I didn't quite catch the goal difference, but if we win today, we could somehow get second back. It is that tight. This is going to be an interesting end to the season. You could say, write United off as title winners, but second to 5th, second to 5th places, second to 6th, it's just so tight. Anybody can take it. Both Liverpool and Spurs are playing. I think Spurs have Stoke and Liverpool have West Brom. Don't quote me on that. We'll find out at half time. Hopefully they can drop some points today and we can pick up some points. I've made a few rotation. Players have come in. So McDonald has come in as well. I'm just trying to remember now. So McDonald's come in. Johansson's come in, who's been good scoring form for us. Rossi's come in for Kearney over on the right hand side, and then we've brought Fredericks in at right back, and Malone in left back, I do believe. Here is the Arsenal lineup. Oblak starts in goal. Sanchez gets his start as well. Now, usually we do pick up some results against Arsenal. Of course, we beat them in the league last time out, I believe, and we've beaten them in the FA Cup. So we've played them twice already this season. We've beaten them twice. This is the biggest game, though, although that FA Cup game was quite big for us as well, as it's led us to the final. But this game is quite big for us. He's just going to run. Left all the men for dead. Oh, great ball through to Aluko. Aluko! Good save, Oblak. Rebound! I've taken way too long over it. I panicked. Should have gone 1-0 up there. Now then, Aluko's broken through again here. This time, Aluko. Oh, yes! What a finish. What a great start here. And like I said, we played great against Arsenal for whatever reason. It's a slightly weakened side fielded by us because of the extra time in the FA Cup, but Aluko's been on fire here. I'm glad I brought him out, really. He just got that little bit of extra rest, and he's almost fully fit for today's game, which is always, well, obviously he's not fully fit, but he's fitter than quite a lot of the other players, obviously, who played the full 120. But Aluko's been on fire in front of goal. He's a very sort of mix and match player, isn't he? Quite a misfit player. Some days he'll turn up and some days he won't, and that's why he's only got 6 goals in the Premier League. But I tell you what, because he wasn't on form in the Villa game, let's be honest. I probably could have took him out earlier than I did, but when he's on fire like he is, for some reason he is today, that's twice he could have scored in a matter of 17 minutes, but he just took that one home easily, and you'd expect him to try and get another one here. And here we go again. Oh, and I don't know what it is about Arsenal. Here's Johansson. That's going to go down. That's going to be a red card, ref. I probably should have took that first time, but Debuchy, sorry, is going to get sent off here. Great decision by the referee, and we've got ourselves a free kick in a decent position. And as much like the other game against Arsenal, where Sanchez got himself sent off in, I think it was a very similar time as well. Debuchy has got himself sent off there. Alan Smith says he's going to get fined by his manager. That would be quite funny, wouldn't it? But he has let the side down. Now then, the question is, and also according to somebody's comment on a previous episode, Johansson has good free kick stats. I think we've already actually addressed this. Aluko's is actually a lot better, so we're going to let Aluko take this. If we can get this to 2-0, it was very close, but not quite. But 1-0 up, 70 minutes to go, and Arsenal are down to 10 men. Space here for Sobey out wide. Can cut inside. Can play it into Johansson. Run being made by McDonald. Oh, what a ball. What a goal. Run over to the camera and to celebrate. And that was a great team effort, that was. We're 2-0 up here. And like I said, when we come up against the big boys, we can just seem to perform. The likes of Chelsea that we've beat twice this season. I think City, we've beat them twice this season. Arsenal, we've now beaten them twice. And then we come up teams like Leicester, Villa and that, and we end up losing points and throwing away all the hard work that we do. But this big victory against Arsenal, especially now that hopefully it'll be more than just a 1-goal margin, will close up this. You have to. It's a 6-pointer, and it's also like a 4-goal difference game now, because it's knocking their heads down by 2 and us by 2. So we get +4 on Arsenal. 3 minutes to go, and chance for a third here. Aluko, play it back to Sobey. Oh, he's hit the post. Not over yet though. Johansson keeps it in. Back to Lansbury. Sorry. Here's Aluko. Can Aluko get a shot where he can? Good save by Oblak. Sobey should have made it 3. Oblak kicks it clear, and referee says that's half time. So we are absolutely flying here. That good performance against Villa. The momentum's just got us going. All the players are lifted. We are in great spirits here. We went 1-0 up nice and early on in about 20 minutes, 17, 20 minutes. Oh, in fact, it was earlier than that, wasn't it? Oh, it was 16 minutes by Aluko. Debuchy then gets himself sent off, and we've really just capitalised on that. McDonald finishes a nice sort of worked team goal. And half-time, it's Fulham 2, Arsenal 0. So there are the other results. I got Leicester and Stoke correct, but Liverpool and Spurs are both winning. So this is not good for Arsenal. It's not that great for us either. I'm going to make one change at half time. As you can see, a lot of players are quite tired. But I am going to bring Aite on for Sobi, who just seems to be extra tired. Doesn't quite have the stamina, Sobi, but it's okay. We can work on that. We are winning by 2, so that's good for us as well, because that could lift us back against Spurs. And I tell you what, if... Oh, penalty! I was going to say, if Aluko can score here and go free up, we should definitely go ahead of Spurs. But somehow, we've got a penalty kick there. I don't quite know what for, to be quite honest. And is he going to get sent off? Here he is! Arsenal down to 9 men here. Manolas has been sent off. I forgot to take a look at where they filled the Debussy gap, but I'd be even more interested now to see how they're filling Debussy and Manolas. So Aluko was with a shot, and Johansson got in his way. I think it was Johansson, yeah, it must have been. Johansson got in his way, and Manolas went to block the shot of Aluko, and because Johansson was there, he's took him out. A little bit harsh, but I don't know if it deserved a red card, really. Let's have a look at what they're rocking with now. So they haven't actually changed anything. So they've left a massive gap over at right back and a massive gap over at centre back. Interestingly enough, so we'll look to do something about that. And who should take this penalty? I think we'll give it to Lansbury's actually got really good penalty stats. Aluko, I think, probably deserves it. He's been the most instrumental here. So can we make it 3-0 and put this game to bed? God, we've missed another penalty. This time it really won't matter. Arsenal down to 9 men and 2 goals down, so Aluko knocks it forward to Aite, and Aite's going to hit this, and Aite makes it 3. It was coming eventually. This time I decided to go cross goal, and we'll just boost that goal difference even further. So another demolishing of Arsenal. I don't know what it is, but I absolutely love playing against Arsenal with Fulham because we just seem to be beating them left and right. I kind of wish now we hadn't have knocked them out in the 4th round of the FA Cup, and we drew him in the final, but hey, it is what it is. Arsenal, well, they've written their own fate really here today. Okay, we got ourselves the early goal, but they then got themselves a man sent off in the 20th minute and a second man sent off early on in the second half, so down to 9 men and they had absolutely no chance. There was an offside there. Oh, I thought the referee had blown for full time then, but oh, well, it was definitely an offside back all the way back up there. Played on quite a long time, but I think that's it. That is it. What a fantastic victory for us today. 3-0 against Arsenal. You can't beat that. Following a successful FA Cup victory over Aston Villa. We're not only through to the FA Cup final, we're also looking like top 4 is back on. So a fantastic game. And as I said, Arsenal written their own fate. We went up 1-0 early on. And then Debussy got himself sent off. We then went 2-0 up. They then conceded a penalty and Manolas got sent off. We went 3-0 up. We missed the penalty, but in the end we went 3-0 up. And that's how it's finished. All 3 points here today. Fulham 3, Arsenal 0. And so those are the results then. Liverpool went on to win 2-0, but that's okay because we won 3-0. And Spurs dropped 2 points at home to Stoke, which is big. Although Stoke, we've got to watch out for them as well. They could surprise us all, especially if they'd have won that game. But that is going to be interesting. Delete the press conference, and that will be the end of today's episode. Before we go, quick look at the calendar. So we've got Swansea next, but that's fine. Swansea and then Watford, and then we'll do so we've got Swansea, Watford in the next episode. We'll then have a bit of a bumper special because, interestingly enough, we've got West Brom, followed by Reading, followed by West Ham in the league on the Sunday, and then at the weekend, West Ham in the FA Cup final. So Swansea, Watford in the next episode, West Brom, Reading and West Ham in the following episode, assuming I've got enough time to record, but it should be okay. And then we'll have the 1 game special with West Ham in the FA Cup final, and that will be the end of the season. So that'll be that 1 game, and then we'll have an end of season review. So we're getting short to the end of our first Premier League table, and let's have a look at how things are shaping up. Manchester United have a game in hand on us all and are still top of the league, so like I said, they've pretty much won the league. Thanks to that win against Arsenal, we have gone from 5th to 2nd. And as I was saying, in terms of best goal difference, apart from United at the top who are level with us, we hold the best goal difference in the league, which is good because look how tight it is. Arsenal in 3rd and Chelsea in 4th, and obviously us in 2nd, all on 58 points with just 5 games left to go, of course. 5 games left in the season. And Spurs and Liverpool, although Liverpool have actually played a game in hand, they're both on 56 points. So this Liverpool's starting to lose a little bit of pace, but the four of us, for that second, third, fourth and fifth spot, and Liverpool including that, it's so open there for who's going to finish in Europe this season. It's going to make a very, very exciting end to the season. A little bit unfortunate we don't actually have to play any of those teams, maybe, but you could say that we've gifted a few easy teams. Watford then in 7th and Stoke in 8th. City are doing a little bit better up into 9th, but they've got a game extra. Sunderland are there in 10th. Crystal Palace 11th. West Ham down in 12th. Our FA Cup finalists. Everton 13th. Leicester 14th. West Brom 15th. Villa still going quite strong there. They've now also got a game in hand and they're up to 16th. So you could say they're going quite well. Should they win that game in hand, they'll be 5 points clear of relegation. Swansea are now another team to join the battle for relegation. I don't think they've been mentioned in it before, but they're down in 17th at just 1 point off the pace. And Southampton actually have a game in hand on them. So they have to win that to put Swansea into relegation. And Burnley and Reading, of course, your bottom two. So, a perfect episode for us. We're into the FA Cup final. We're back up to second thanks to 3 points against Arsenal. What can you say? Please do drop a like on this video for a super, super awesome video. Why not subscribe as well if you're new around here. And until next time, goodbye.